Hello and welcome to yet another episode of UA's Double Overtime. I'm Connor Delaney.
And now Michael Wolf.
Mike, two shows in a row. What do I owe the pleasure to? You know?
Well, you know what? Sometimes when you know your sports, you know your sports.
When you know your sports, you know your sports. You're getting comfortable there, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm liking it. You know, I'm losing the nerves, getting it going.
I hear you,
getting
man.
the ball rolling.
I'm excited for another show with you. Let's first order of business. The Lakers.
These
Lakers. Anytime you got a name like Phil Jackson out there, it's going to be a big story. As you've seen, the Lakers just signed Mike D'Antoni, the previous head coach of the New York Knicks, who didn't have such a good tenure there. Lakers just signed him as their head coach over Phil Jackson, who was considering the job. Mike, what do you think of this? And was this the right move for the Lakers?
I don't understand how you could ever resist Phil Jackson, first of all. But Mike D'Antoni, he does have some experience with Steve Nash. They worked well together. He has, Coach of the Year with Steve Nash.
Sure.
He's not a defensive guy, and
Steve Nash has back-to-back MVPs under D'Antoni.
Yeah, D'Antoni's not a defensive guy. The Lakers really aren't a defensive team either at the moment. So right now, their offense is going to start clicking with D'Antoni. The fast break is going to start working. Still have to see where it goes. We still have to watch them work together, play together, see what they do.
I think the Lakers, from the Lakers standpoint, they were looking at their system and the players they have and the tools they have, and they thought that I still think you go with Phil Jackson just because the guy has a 70% winning percentage as opposed to D'Antoni's like 580 or something like that. But I feel like Phil Jackson would have made the changes necessary. I mean, you look at the point guards that he's had in his systems, like he's a Steve Kerr with the Bulls and then a Derek Fisher. He doesn't have like that elite point guard. So someone like Steve Nash, I think the Lakers were more attracted to a D'Antoni because running like a pick and roll with Dwight Howard, running a pick and roll where Howard can attack the basket, Gasol can pop out, and then you have Kobe on the wing. So I just think from that standpoint, the Lakers thought that D'Antoni was the best fit. This is going to be a move that might haunt them down the road if they aren't successful with D'Antoni and Phil Jackson. Then the question will always be, well, what if they would have went ahead and signed Phil Jackson?
I think that's what it's going to be. Like I said, I don't know how you could resist Phil Jackson. He was a great player, great coach.
Yeah, he has 11 championships.
He's coached two of the best players to ever play the game, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I don't understand how you could turn away.
I mean, with that triangle offense that Phil Jackson is so very well known for, do you think it would have been implemented with that Lakers team they have now with Steve Nash? I mean, I feel like the focal point of your offense has to be Nash running the pick and roll with those guys, and you have guys like Kobe on the wing who you can kick out to, and then he can do his thing. But with the triangle offense, I feel like it kind of takes away from Nash's ability to do things such as the pick and roll and kind of, just in Phil Jackson's system, I feel like his point guard is just kind of like a spot-up shooter, run the offense, get the ball up to court, and then get the ball in the hands of Kobe, where it kind of takes away from Steve Nash's game, what he's all about, So it makes sense with this. I see what the Lakers are doing. I feel it's such a hard thing to shy away from a name like Phil Jackson.
I agree, and also we don't know what Phil Jackson was going to do. We don't know if he was going to do the triangle offense. We don't know if he was going to.
And who knows about the rumors too about whether he was asking for like road stints off or time away from away games, or I don't know all the facts there, and that could just be speculation to kind of make the Lakers look better for making their decision. But let's stop talking about that. I think we both can agree that we'll see how it works out. We'll see if the Lakers work out, if their offense start to click, what happens with the defense there. Let's go to the New York Knicks, 5-0.
It's ridiculous to be a Knicks fan all my life and see them finally have a good start, 5-0, beating every team by double digits. They just beat the Magic a couple nights ago, 99-89.
Every win.
Every single win. I don't know when they're going to stop. Are they going to be 82-0? Is that what we're looking at here, Connor?
They have two tough matchups in a row here. They have San Antonio tonight, and they have Memphis this weekend. And those are going to be two matchups for them that are really going to, if they can win both those matchups and go to 7-0 after those two matchups, then the Knicks are for real. Absolutely.
Yeah. Memphis right now is 6-1. San Antonio's 7-1. I mean, they're old, but how can you say that for the past 5 years? You've been saying everybody's been saying San Antonio's old, but look at them go. They made almost another championship run last year. But I mean, Carmelo scoring 27 points a game.
J.R. Smith hitting lights out from three.
J.R. Smith is 13 from 18 from 3-point range.
For 18?
Is he getting the Sixth Man Award this year?
At the looks of it right now, I really like what their system they do there. With Mike Woodson finally having a full year under his belt to be that head coach, get his system in place. Bringing guys like Ronnie Brewer, just like defensive minded, because you're going to have offensive threats there. I mean, Raymond Felton, he can score, he can do what he has to do. He's a great point guard. I liked him when the Knicks initially got him and then traded him away. to the Nuggets, I believe, for in that Melo deal,
Yep.
that Carmelo deal. But then they bring a point guard like Raymond Felton back in. You guys, Ronnie Brewer, who's just a defensive first, two-player who can lock down guys. You have Carmelo putting MVP numbers up right now in that MVP conversation if he keeps playing like this. And you got bigs like Tyson Chandler, Defensive Player of the Year, who's down low. And that's the thing. Their offense is great right now. They're scoring over 100 points a game, and then they're holding people from under 100 points. So, like you said, for 5 straight wins of over double digits in win margin there, that's pretty impressive.
I agree. I mean, they're playing lights out right now.
Do you think they're right now with the Heat? Excuse me, with the Heat losing to the Clippers, do you think they're the best team in the East right now?
Yeah, I would have to say yeah. I mean, they haven't really been. They haven't really got the true test, but
they beat the Heat.
They beat the Heat. That was in the beginning of the season, but at the same time, they're not slowing down. I haven't seen them slow down at any point. So we'll see tonight and tomorrow with San Antonio and Memphis. And see
I agree.
How that
I think
goes.
those are two huge tests for the Knicks. Both those games.
Definitely.
The Heat? Speaking of the Heat, they lost last night to the Clippers, who just won 4 straight games. Should the Heat be worried, or are they just kind of, they got new players in, Rashard Lewis, Ray Allen? Are they just trying to click and they'll get their game together? Should we just give credit to the Clippers, who again won 4 straight and are just maybe a pretty dominant team out there in the West?
Well, I think it has to do with both. I mean, Clippers are just they're rolling through. They're starting to heat up.
I like their team a lot.
And the Heat, they're going through the motions right now. They're figuring it out, and they're going to be back at the top just like how they always are. I mean, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. There's no other place for them but the top.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk one more thing NBA before we get into MLB. Andrew Bynum.
He's got to get a haircut.
What was that? It looked like an Etch-a-Sketch on his head or something.
He needs to go to Smithtown Barbershop and see my man Alex. And,
Alex?
Give him the fresh cut.
Did he tell you to get a free haircut if you shot him out on the show like that?
Man, Smithtown Barbershop. Check him out. No,
yeah, Andrew Bynum, that's something else. I saw his hair. I thought it was a joke at first. I saw it on
crazy.
Facebook or something,
Absolutely
or some
crazy.
type of social media. I saw it, and I was just like, what is this guy doing?
I have no clue. I thought maybe, at first, he was growing it out. I thought maybe afro. I didn't know. And then when I saw he wasn't going with that, maybe dreads.
It's like a prince of,
I don't know.
Prince of France or something.
I don't know what he's thinking, man.
But let's, that was good. That was a good conversation, NBA there. Let's get into MLB. We just had some awards come out. We had let's start with Rookie of the Year. It was pretty obvious. Mike Trout of the AL. And Bryce Harper in the NL. Was that pretty clear cut and pretty, everyone expected that?
I think it was pretty obvious.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Trout, obviously, he's in the running for MVP. So obviously he's gonna get Rookie of the Year.
Bryce Harper had a very good season. He's a very young player.
What about Cy Young? We had the closest in the AL. We had the closest victory by David Price, who had 14 total first place votes to Justin Verlander's 13 total first place votes. It was the closest since 1969, where there was a tie for Cy Young. I guess it was a 4-point difference between Price and Verlander. Do you think Price deserved the Cy Young over Verlander?
Well, he was 20-5. Verlander every year he's in the running for Cy Young. To be honest, I think it could have won either way. I'm not going to say that the guy.
Verlander had more strikeouts. I mean, Price did hit the 20-win mark. He had 20 wins to Verlander's 17. Price had a little lower ERA, but Verlander had the strikeouts. It's tough for me because Verlander's team did make it to the postseason, where Price's did not. Yeah. But I don't know. Like you said, it could go either way. I mean, they both had phenomenal seasons. I mean, I'm sure they're both not too concerned with it because Verlander won an MVP. He has MVP hardware on his shelf, and he's probably pretty upset that they got swept in the World Series, which I still don't remember even happening. It was such a brief stint that we had there of baseball. But in the NL, R.A. Dickey, first knuckleballer to ever win the Cy Young. What do you think of that? 240 strikeouts, had 20 wins, had ERA sub 2.5. I mean, what? 38 years old.
It's crazy to even have a knuckleball pitcher be this phenomenal to be able to win the Cy Young award, and to even come out after his career. He was in the minors for 14 years, finally got called up, and now look at him with the Cy Young award. I mean, I'm pretty sure he never thought this could happen. Never mind any of the fans. So it's kind of crazy. Him and David Price are both from Central Tennessee. I mean, do you think there's something in the water there? Are they producing these pitchers?
I don't know. I mean, that's funny. I think for him to be a knuckleballer, to strike out that many people, to have that low of an ERA. I mean, you see you see knuckleball, you see guys like Tim Wakefield and guys in the past, they're hit or miss. They either have a great start or they get rocked because it's all a matter of the elements, the wind, what's going on. But this guy, he clearly figured something out with his pitching routine, and he had a great season. He definitely deserved the Cy Young. It's 38 years old. R.A. Dickey, who would have ever thought that a pitcher of the Mets? I mean, since there's only been 4 other pitchers of the Mets. Tom Seaver won 3 Cy Youngs. So I mean, to be in company of Tom Seaver or something like that, that's phenomenal, and he had a great season. But now there's one more award ready to be announced, and what are your predictions for the MVP ALNL?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the guy. He's got a 330 batting average, 44 home runs, 139 RBIs. I think you know who I'm talking about, Miguel Cabrera.
Mr. Triple Crown himself.
He brought his team to the World Series. Yes, they didn't do anything in the World Series, but just to get there is accomplishment enough.
He won the Triple Crown. Yes, Mike Trout had a phenomenal season. He got Rookie of the Year. He's going to continue to have phenomenal seasons, and I'm sure he'll get a few MVPs under his belt. But this year, you got to give it to Miguel Cabrera. Triple Crown since
goes without saying.
Yeah, I mean, to hit the Triple Crown, like you said, was the first time since
Carl Yastrzemski.
Right?
Yep.
So it's no doubt. What about the NL? Who do you think there? I think Buster Posey for the Giants.
I would have to agree with Buster Posey.
Buster Posey is a catcher.
Having a great season.
He's behind the plate. He calls a good game. He is the heart of that offense. So I think Buster Posey in the NL will take it, but it's going to be a closer race than the AL, I think. You got guys like Ryan Braun in there, Matt Kemp, but we'll see. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But that wraps up our first half here. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our second half.
All right, we're going to start off this second half with everybody's favorite, the NFL. We'll start off with the New York Giants losing another game to the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals lost 3 straight, but of course they have to come into the slumping Giants and get a win. They lost 13-31. What do you have to say about that?
Eli, he's not elite.
Yeah.
Great team player, not elite.
Nah, I don't think you could call him out of being elite right now.
He's not elite? What do you mean? He's got a touchdown in 3 games.
3 games. You know what? This is the typical Giants. He's got 1 slump in the past, 3 years? He's been playing great in the blast. He's been playing great. I don't know how you could say anything bad about him. Tell me one quarterback that's never had a slump. Peyton Manning's had a slump. Tom Brady's had a slump. Name one quarterback that hasn't had a slump.
But consistent slumps every few games or every season. He's inconsistent. He's always been inconsistent. Great. He wins. He has 2 championships. Sure, he gets there. He has good teams behind him. He's a good team player, but he's not an elite quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback for his team, but he's not an elite quarterback.
I disagree.
He'll never be an elite quarterback.
I disagree. You can't spell elite without Eli. I don't like you talking about Eli Manning like that.
I know you don't, but I hate to break it to you.
No, I don't know.
Lost the
what are you comparing him to? Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Well, listen, don't bring Fitzpatrick in the situation. Fitzpatrick had a good game there. He could have beat New England. But
he could have.
He threw the interception in the end zone. But we're talking about Eli. Listen, Fitzpatrick's not an elite quarterback. And
You're right.
I'm realistic. Right. I know that, and I'm realistic about whether my quarterback is elite or not. Regardless of if his name is in elite, Eli is not elite.
I think. I think
the
Buffalo Bills should start paying Eli Manning so. Another New York quarterback could actually do something with a good salary.
They play in New Jersey, so if you want to start this game, the Bills are the only New York football team, if you will, playing in New Jersey. The Giants and the Jets both.
Hey, we'll represent. Eli Manning will represent.
But
both
listen. It's not Eli's fault why the Giants are doing bad. Yes, he's not playing as well.
No, of course not. The defense isn't playing
as well as he could. But some people, like you said, go in slumps and have.
The only players that are consistent on the defense is Michael Boley and Jason Pierre-Paul. So
even a dead clock's right twice a day. So let's just say that's how Eli's playing right now.
Right now.
I
can agree. Right
now. Oh, they'll get their thing. They'll get it together. Just like the cushion they have in that division, anyways. That division's so terrible between the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Redskins. I mean, they're going to win that division. They're fine. They're not in any type of trouble. I mean, Dallas could slowly start creeping up on them, but again, we could have the same thing we happened last year, Week 17. And I think Giants will get hot. They'll hit their stride going into the postseason, and they'll be just like the Giants we're used to seeing, getting 15 sacks a game, being led by that defensive line. Eli making the throws when he needs to make the throws.
Yep.
So don't worry. He's not elite, but he'll be fine.
He's elite.
He'll be okay. Well, agree to disagree.
Eli.
Let's go to the Saints. Beat the Falcons, giving them their first loss of the season. Are the Saints hitting stride right now at the right time? And with everything going on with them and the perseverance they have right now, are they a scary team in the NFL right now?
They're not scary to me yet. They were in the Superdome to beat the Falcons.
All right.
We did call this last week that if they were going to lose a game, it was probably going to be this one.
I called it.
You did.
I called it. Did I not?
You did call it.
I called
it.
I
may have said that Falcons are going to beat the Saints, but
you may have.
But at the same time, this wasn't the Superdome, where the Saints hardly ever lose.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Are they scary? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Let's see how a couple more games. I'll give them.
I don't know. I like Drew Brees. I think he, as far as leadership goes, he has that. He has the troops rallied, and they're ready to make some noise. The rest of the season here. I think
another elite quarterback aside Eli, huh?
Another in the company of Eli Manning as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Look at you! You're upset about that Eli.
That hit home.
A little bitter.
Cut the heart.
A little bitter, aren't you?
Cut the heart.
But I think that was a huge one for the Saints. Falcons, I knew they were going to lose at some point. This was the game. Finally facing a good team on the road, not in Atlanta. But let's change pace and go to another hopping stadium where the Jets just lost the 12th man in Seattle. Is it finally Tebow time? Is it McElroy? It's not Sanchez time. I'll tell you that much.
They have to play McElroy. I don't know how they haven't thrown him in yet.
He had the only touchdown in the preseason.
Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Sanchez.
Why wouldn't you try it?
I watched the Jets game just so I could watch how bad their offense is. Like, I find it funny, and that Sanchez just goes to the sideline every time, and then Rex Ryan comes out, well, Mark Sanchez is our quarterback, and we stand behind him, and he's our guy. And no, he's terrible. Their season
is over.
He can't complete a pass over 20 yards. He can't complete a pass over 20 yards. Third down conversions, he throws. It makes no sense. I watch this guy in the pocket. He just looks timid. He looks scared. It looks like he knows he's getting ready to be yanked out. I just think the Jets need to go ahead and just make the move, get rid of Sanchez, put Tebow in. It'll make the fans happy. It'll make the media happy. Everyone wants to see it. Everyone wants to see Tebow behind center for the New York Jets in that system as quarterback. Look what he did in Denver. Yes, he's not the most orthodox quarterback. Actually, he's probably the most unorthodox quarterback in the NFL. But he wins games. What's his record? He wins games. He won a playoff game last year. In overtime. The guy wins games.
I agree with what you're saying, but I also disagree. The defense he had with Denver last year is much better than the Jets' defense this year.
Absolutely.
So they won games. They won a lot of those games because of the defense.
Based on their defense, but they won a lot of those games because Tim Tebow made the right throws when he had to make the right throws.
He got lucky. He made lucky throws.
He
made lucky runs.
Rather be lucky.
He has heart. Hey, I will take a quarterback with heart over a quarterback with skill. A man equipped with just his heart can beat a man who solely relies on skill any day of the week. I agree with that.
Did you write that down?
That's a personal Mike Wolf quote.
Is that?
But
Mike Wolf himself. You heard it here first. Quote of the week for me. I gotta write that down.
But
you tell me that when the camera.
Let's get back to the
topic.
topic.
I'm sorry. That gave me chills.
The Jets, they cannot put Tebow in. It's time for McElroy. We were talking about this the other day. Who is their number one receiver? Curly? We couldn't even name it. Is it really Curly?
Sure. I mean, they need receivers. They needed help there with Holmes. Holmes just doesn't want to play for this team. He's just tired of it. He's tired of all the nonsense going on. But give Tebow a shot at least.
Tebow can't throw, never mind when there's no receivers to throw to.
It's not Tebow's. Tebow will outwork or out-hustle and put in whatever he has to do to be successful. He's not a good quarterback. He's a great football player.
Okay.
Like you said, he has heart. He will do what it takes to get the job done.
Let's see him at
I want to give him a shot.
Let's
give him a shot.
If he's going to play, put him at fullback. Let's get off this topic, though, before me and Connor get into a fist fight.
So you feel about Eli how I feel about Tebow.
Okay.
I'm a huge Tebow fan. Love the guy.
Let's talk about something that doesn't happen very too often in an NFL season. Once a year, if not never, a tie. 49ers-Rams. I'm going to go with a quote from Donovan McNabb saying, "I didn't even know you can tie in the NFL." So how do you feel about this tie? It happens every once in a while. It's like a solar eclipse.
Put some points on the scoreboard. First off, Jeff Fisher, you got to be aware. He hits the 53-yarder, and then you get a delay of game to push it back to a 58, and then he completely shanks it. So the game would have been over there if just a little bit more awareness on the special teams and the coach's part. So that would have been one thing to make a difference. David Akers, who led the league in points last year as far as kicking field goals go, missed a few field goals during the game. Tie's a tie. You have 15 minutes to at least put one field goal through the uprights. I mean, there's no reason to be tying in the NFL like that. You got high-powered offenses out there. I
agree. David Akers is one of the best kickers of all time. He has a lot of game-winning experience, field goal game winners, especially with the Eagles. 49. It should have never been close. 49ers, Rams. Rams aren't the team to be going on the 49ers. That defense should have held them down, and they should have got the points to win the game.
I agree.
Let's bring it over to another topic, NCAA basketball. the UAlbany Great Danes took a road trip to Ohio State and Washington, and what happened? They lost to Ohio State but beat Washington.
The Pac-12 champions last year, the Washington Huskies. That's a huge win, probably the biggest win in Great Danes history. Mike Black had a buzzer beater right at the end of the game.
3.7 seconds left. Layup to win it.
Layup to win it.
Jacob Yachty, 20 points with 6 3-pointers, and Peter Uli, he took that 3-pointer with 33 seconds left and brought Albany to the 61-60 lead.
Wow,
but
that's a huge win.
Game, a huge win.
What do you think the potential of this team is? Like, what do you think the
could be on the bracket this year. Who knows? They could be on the bracket this year.
Oh man,
they got the big man Puck playing very well. I was at the
home opener.
I was at the home opener. He threw that dunk down to secure the win.
Yeah,
I heard that was
a big game. It was a big win for them. But to beat the Huskies like that in Washington,
yes,
nonetheless,
huge. They rarely lose there to especially non-conference.
Well, especially not a conference game. This is they bring UAlbany in kind of just like a game, like this is like a tuner game for them.
Yeah.
In their mind. No offense to our team, but that's just the reality.
We showed them what we got. That's our Great Danes.
We came in, we showed them don't take us light, and we got the W. And go Great Danes.
So going with the NCAA basketball, who are your final 4 picks? Let's see what you got.
Final 4 picks is so tough this time of year because who knows? I have to go. I like how Duke beat Kentucky the other night. I have to go Duke. I like their leadership there. They have Kelly, seniors in Kelly and Curry. Curry's, I think he's going to be one of the players of the year. I just like their experience, the depth they have. Syracuse, hometown team, but at the same time, that zone is scary good. That defense, they're all long-armed. They're all active. They got guys like Daquan Coleman, Christmas, Keita, all 7-footers in the paint. When you can rotate 3 7-footers in and out of the middle. I mean, that says a lot for your team.
Yeah.
I like C.J. Fair. He's playing well. I think Syracuse. I think Louisville will get back there under Pitino. I mean, they only lost. They didn't really lose anyone. They have their whole team basically coming back. They lost. I think Sosa was it. Sosa was the only player they lost. And right now, Indiana's number 1. I'll be cliche. I'll go with the number 1 team, Indiana. I like Cody Zeller in the paint, big 7-footer. They have a good team. I think they would be the team to get upset though out of the 4 I just mentioned. But I'm not a big fan of Kentucky this year. I watched them play against Duke. I just think where Anthony Davis was that freshman who wanted to be that team leader and wanted to be that center of attention, Nerlens Noel is not quite there. He played hard. He plays well, but I just don't think they have the capacity of the team they had last year to do what they did last year. So what do you think, though?
I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to say
sorry, it took up a lot of time there.
Kansas State, Ohio State, Duke, and call me crazy, the sleeper pick, UAlbany Great Danes.
Stop.
Hey, we'll see what they got.
We'll see.
I'm not going to count them out just yet. I'll tell you that.
We'll hey, you heard it here. Mike might predict. You'll be the only one in the country to predict the UAlbany Great Danes in the Final Four.
I'll win that bracket.
So you will win that. You will win that bracket. ESPN Tourney Challenge. That does it for our second half, folks. Stay tuned. We have a controversial topic, and we're going to our big finish. Stay tuned. Welcome back to UA's Double Overtime. We got our controversial topic we're going to get into real quick before our big finish. The Miami Marlins doing a fire sale there of all their players. Jose Reyes, Mark Burley. Good move, bad move by them?
It's a bad move. This isn't how you start a team. They moved from Florida Marlins to Miami Marlins. It's in the same state, but you know what? I like to consider it a new team. They had a lot of new players. But Jose Reyes was supposed to be the center of that team. At least I thought before the season started. And they got rid of him one season in to Toronto. It's not a good look.
I don't agree with it either. I don't agree with it. Not a good look. It's a bad move. I understand clear salary space, but you could do that in other ways besides getting rid of players you just brought in.
Yeah, so. I mean, the way they did it, I thought they were trying to get LeBron on their team.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised they didn't trade LeBron.
Yeah.
But let's get into our big finish. First order of business tonight, the Buffalo Bills versus Miami Dolphins. Take your pick. What do you have?
I'm taking Bills, even though they have Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Bills, let's go.
Next, Knicks Spurs.
Knicks.
82-0.
82-0.
Stanford, Oregon.
I'm going to go Oregon. They're going to stay number 2. They're going to get that BCS championship game. What about you?
I'm going to have to go Stanford.
Stanford, upset. I like it. Sunday Night Football, we have Baltimore and Pitt. Big rival game. Who do you have?
Baltimore. I love Baltimore, the purple and black.
I'm going to go with Baltimore as well. I think they're going to persevere with their injuries. And then Monday Night Football, a big game in the NFC, probably to declare who's the top of the NFC there, the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going to say Chicago. Their defense has been holding out, unlike the 49ers. So
I actually go with the 49ers. I think with Cutler, who knows if he's going to play or not, I'm going to go 49ers.
we'll have to wait to see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Definitely have to wait to see.
That about wraps up our show for today, guys. Mike, what are your big plans for Thanksgiving? We got a nice little break coming up.
You know, I'm going to eat a nice big turkey, but before that, I have my annual turkey bowl with my co-workers from Target. So I'm going to have to win the annual turkey bowl MVP as usual.
Eye black? You gonna put
a
some
little
eye
eye black, the high socks. I'm gonna do it all.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna go home. Mom's probably, increase the pant size and watch some football.
Hey, it's nothing better than that.
Nothing better. So have a good Thanksgiving break, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Have a happy and a healthy. Catch you later if you give me a good pass.
Doctor, open three.